Hi everyone, welcome to Alternavita. Happy Easter. It's March 31st, 2024. And this week I have another post for you about reishi mushrooms and how the research has developed in recent years. And what brought this was about were a few things. Mainly, I have recommended mushrooms in the past, namely Agaricus bisporus, which is wonderful for reducing H2S, hydrogen sulfide, or H2S SIBO, and it is an effective help in that regard. And I have this bag of reishi mushroom powder. So in my own case, it was just getting to the point where it's either use this or begin to use these again in some way or for some benefit, or toss them. And the other reason is because in promoting the work of Dr. Robert Lustig and seeking to help in this growing epidemic of obesity and diabetes type 2, which the statistics are quite horrifying. His work has shed a lot of light on certain things, and one of those things is that no drug is able to actually reach the mitochondria. Only food can do that. And when I find, I do have that video somewhere on the site, blog posts, but when I can find that quote isolated, I will put it in the metabolic health section on the Alternavita website in the featured selections, so that you can follow along with me and him as new developments take place. But I thought that statement was quite astounding, even though I knew it to be true, that the only thing that can actually help your mitochondria by reaching the mitochondria are foods. So that helped lead to some of these superfoods that I know are effective and that are now being studied in greater detail. Mostly because they've recently perfected the spore breaking, I guess you would say, spore breaking ability, so that they could actually see how the beneficial components of mushrooms work. So this week I have another post for you regarding reishi, and this is fermented reishi. So the title is Superfoods and Health, Fermented Reishi, and the post is derived from Probiotic Fermentation of Ganoderma lucidum. Fruiting body extracts promoted immunostimulatory activity in mice with dexamethasone-induced immunosuppression. So basically what they did is they fermented, just a second here, I'm gonna fix this screen a little bit. They fermented reishi with, let me see what they used here. Acidophilus and Bifidobreve in a broth, and that actually biotransformed ganoderic acid into a novel substance, and they have studied that substance and in previous studies, and they know that it's helpful. So I'm just going to go over this shortly with you, and then you can check into it in more detail. So reishi is a renowned traditional medicine documented in the pharmacopeia. It's utilized for treating cancer, immunological disorders, hepatitis, and neuropathies. It has demonstrated efficacy in boosting immunity due to its rich content of bioactive compounds such as polysaccharides, triterpenoids, nucleotides, and steroids. These are the recognized physiologically active substances, and the fruiting body of reishi is the primary source of polysaccharides and triterpenes, considered the medicinal component of the fungus. These natural substances, although many are indigestible, traverse the upper gastrointestinal tract and undergo fermentation by a range of gut microbes in the cecum and colon. So novel effects were achieved by the fermentation of reishi. The gut microbiota is often referred to as the hidden organ of the human body, crucial in training and maintaining the host immune system. Innate immunity specifically helps prevent gut microbiota dysbiosis, showcasing a beneficial interaction. Disruptions in the microbiota due to immune-related disorders can hinder efficient utilization of natural substances like reishi extracts, highlighting the urgent need for interventions to restore a balanced microecosystem. On the other hand, probiotic fermentation of natural substances boosts the nutrient diversity and bioactive functions like antimicrobial, anti-carcinogenic, and anti-diabetic properties, as well as immune stimulation and cholesterol reduction. Fermented reishi could enhance learning and cognitive function, but research on its effects in the immune system is limited. This study evaluates the immune-enhancing effects of reishi extracts on immunity, mucosal barrier function, and gut microbiota in immunosuppressed mice. Probiotic fermentation, fruiting body. G. lucidum alters major ganoderic acid components, converting them to GC2, and G. Ganodermic lucidum fruiting bodies counters immune suppression by enhancing immunity, gut health, and microbiota balance. So it biotransforms the substances, and what happened in the end was that it countered the immune suppression by normalizing the CD4-CD8 ratio and reduced endotoxemia and restored the gut microbiota balance and restored the intestinal barrier. So what they used was Acidophilus and B. breve, and this transformed the ganoderic acid, a major triterpenoid, in lucidum into GC2, its primary reduced metabolite. This suggests probiotic fermentation aids ganoderic acid metabolism support, and then that was supported by other findings. And then it activates pathways related to acidophilus and B breve metabolism. These interactions significantly contribute to the immunoregulatory effects. So that's how it works. So fermentation of reishi by a probiotic mixture improved immunity, mucosal barrier function, and the gut microbiota composition. And then what else happened? It also affected the crosstalk. It shielded mice from immune suppression, weight loss, and spleen atrophy. And it could take naive CD4 T cells and could transition them into IL-17 producers, which includes an increase in IL-17 levels and a decrease in TNF-alpha. And these findings echoed results from other studies that that reishi fruiting bodies enhance immunity because they possess immunoregulatory properties. And they also upregulated protein expression, occludin, claudin-1, and zonulin-1, thereby reducing endotoxemia. So they're basically learning how it works and what happens after fermentation and what's the benefit. So lymphocytes are vital for immune responses, with CD4, CD8 levels reflecting cell-mediated immunity. Reishi can enhance T cell percentages and ratios, and these results confirm that the fruiting body's ability to normalize lymphocyte levels in immune-suppressed mice suggests potential for cellular immunity regulation. And then they recommend eventually that it be applied to humans. So you can purchase fermented reishi products if you want. And you can also learn how to ferment mushrooms if you want to make your own. But basically what I did is since both of those probiotics that they used are in Lifeway kefir, I just took a few teaspoons, added my milk, added my kefir, put it in a separate bottle, and let it ferment in the fridge. In most of these studies, they tell you they just use a broth, and they basically tell you how they make the broth. It's basically an agar broth, and they use, I believe, corn starch, potatoes, different types of sugars, and then they let it ferment. I believe in this one, as well as a couple others I saw, the fermentation time was 5 days. But I didn't do that, and I will let you know if I notice any enhanced effects from my regular drink. But this is just another of the types of superfoods that I want to cover here in the next few posts, because I really want to drive that home. That groundbreaking, earth-shattering quote from Dr. Robert Lustig, that no drug actually reaches mitochondria, nor can, and therefore it cannot have an effect on the cellular, intracellular level. Only food can do that. So I do know there are a few superfoods that have lived up to the hype and have been studied, and I plan on covering them in the near future for you. And mushrooms are but one. In general, they are basically just good for you, and the fiber alone is good for you. So I'll be covering mushrooms here for maybe one more post, and then I'll move on to the next superfood. And if that doesn't happen, I'll just move on to the next superfood on my list that I know has shown tremendous efficacy in actual studies. And I'd just like to say that there are many human trials on different mushrooms for different things, but I didn't delve into it far enough to see or look at any meta-analysis to see, or that many meta-analysis to see how much reishi itself has been used in human trials and what the actual results were. So I think the last post was a meta-analysis, but I honestly can't remember what everything it was studied for. And I think a lot of times it was studied for cancer. And I generally just prefer to stick to gut health on this channel, and other autoimmune and other conditions that aren't quite as serious as cancer, even though cancer, everything including oral natural immune therapy, was initially studied for cancer. Okay, everyone, that's about it, but I think you'll be happy to hear that a lot of these superfoods are being studied in greater depth. I'm quite sure part of the reason is efficacy, and just the realization that we are facing major health problems that are going to cost trillions upon trillions of dollars, and the loss of human life if something isn't done in the very near future. Okay, have a great Easter. Have a happy Easter. I'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for joining me. Bye, everyone.